And just so we know, again, there is the public information that we've discussed. You assert that it points to collusion. We were questioning if, in fact, it does. Have you seen things on the classified side that you cannot tell us about, though, that is even stronger evidence than what is out there publicly?
Yes. Just because he's not been criminally indicted for collusion doesn't mean he has conducted colluding types of behavior with the Russians. I'll never apologize for loving our country so much that I don't think any campaign, transition, or president should draw us close to the Russians and welcome their support and never tell law enforcement while they were seeking to support them. I'll always stand on our side rather than Russia's, and I just wish the president would too. There was certainly evidence of collusion.
Do you believe the president right now has been an agent of the Russians?
Yes, I think there's more evidence than he is. Yes, and I think all the arrows point in that direction, and I haven't seen a single piece of evidence that he's not. Bob Mueller doesn't believe it meets the proof beyond a reasonable doubt standard, but it doesn't mean that it's okay. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't do something in the future to make sure Republicans or Democrats don't work with foreign adversaries. We have a duty to protect this country still.
Doggedly spent the last year investigating what turned out to be an amazing story. A Chinese intelligence agent called Feng, or as she renamed herself when she came to this country, Christine Feng, became a force within the Democratic Party of California. Along the way, she cultivated a number of Democratic office holders. Feng had sexual relationships with at least 2 of them, identified in the Axios story as mayors from Midwestern cities. Feng also began a relationship with a man called Eric Swalwell. You may recognize that name. Eric Swalwell is a member of the United States Congress. Swalwell sits on the House Intelligence Committee. He is privy to this country's most closely held secrets. Feng's relationship with Swalwell began in 2012. Like so many Chinese spies, Feng used college as her cover. She enrolled as a student at a university in the Bay Area, and she immediately joined a number of left-wing identity politics organizations on campus. From there, she quite naturally began raising money for Democratic candidates. U.S. intelligence officials believe that Feng had a sexual relationship with Eric Swalwell. We asked Swalwell's office about that directly today. His staff replied by saying they couldn't comment on whether or not Swalwell had a sexual relationship with Feng because that information might be, quote, classified. They did not elaborate or explain what they meant by that.
Knowing what you know, find that reporting to be exaggerated and to be worthy of the label of hoax?
People should be very concerned by the allegations. I have reviewed many of the materials around this allegation. I'm very concerned. It's not a hoax.
Like the spy that Feinstein hired, Feng gained access to Eric Swalwell's office in Washington. U.S. officials say Feng managed to install an intern in Swalwell's office, almost certainly as a spy for the Chinese government. Now, we don't know the full extent of Feng's intelligence activities in this country. Eventually, she fled the U.S. for China while under FBI investigation. Swalwell claims he hasn't talked to her in years. We do know that in Eric Swalwell, the Chinese government picked a promising vehicle. Swalwell is one of the most high-profile members of Congress. Last year, he ran for president of the United States. At every turn, Eric Swalwell has remained a reliable source of Chinese government propaganda. As a member of the House Intelligence Committee, he styled himself as an expert at spotting foreign interference in our government, remarkably. As you may remember, Swalwell spent years accusing the sitting president of working for a hostile power.